my pleasure to bring up AJ Strout, who is an independent video artist, writer, editor, queer, activist, feminist, and entangled machine body. Their creative work is a transformative and sometimes transgressive investigation of the fissures and space between established conventions. Much of their literature and video art addresses the absence of queers in the technological and social imaginary. Using traditions of self-reflexivity, AJ produces hybrid narrative abstractions that cross mediums, giving equal weight to form and content. Whether producing prose, poetry, tattoos, handmade books, zines, videos, films, literature, or aesthetic representations, their work is informed by personal experience and research in gender, culture, and technology alike.
I'm going to read from our zine, which is on sale tonight. It's usually $10 on the website. It is $8 tonight in person. What I'm going to read to you tonight is based on the piece that I performed with Interactive, our art collective, on August 23rd. It was our inaugural event. It was the first time we'd ever done a performance piece together. I think I'm going to actually introduce it by reading to you what I wrote about it, just so that it gives you kind of an idea of what it's about. It's different just reading it to somebody than it is to perform it. Self-censorship is a socialized behavior. It's called watch your mouth, sorry. It is a systematic mode of social control that inhibits effective communication, the transference of information, and dissent, all which are necessary for building social change. Watch Your Mouth is a hybrid video installation and performance whose purpose it is to encourage critical discourse on self-censorship and social propriety. I intend to examine and challenge the transmission of willful censorship in Western culture, a culture so privileged to have the right to self-expression and dissent. What aren't you saying at the dinner table? Watch your mouth, V1. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Watching you watch my mouth, it leaks thick, viscous liquids. We're watching TV in the dark, but not really. It watches us instead, through a two-way lens, recording our lives because they're just that interesting. You with your admin job and me with vellum skin, transparent and clear, my blood and bile visible to all. People like to pet it when you walk me, but it makes me feel vulnerable. I think to say something about the riots going on in broken streets, or the last time I saw my drug-addicted brother after you abandoned him. He collects coins from fountains and inserts them into those shoes you bought him, hoping they'll make him whole. You wipe the liquids from my mouth and suture it shut, because what spills out is not that interesting to you or our viewers. I'm trying not to fall off the couch. Watching you watch my mouth, you swat flies from it, flies that only you can see. Or maybe the sutures aren't holding and you're slapping me because you've tightened them and you think I can't breathe. You later tell me at the drive-thru that I need to work on my word placement or syllables or syntax. You mean word choice. Or maybe you mean subject, topic. You spray my lips with saline because they're cracked, bleeding, and the audience keeps calling for an intermission. They must be thirsty too. You refuse to turn the lights on because they illuminate the TV screen. I think to say something about people being incarcerated for having dark skin, or the last time I saw the ocean, free of debris, bodies both at the mercy of a white sky no matter how hard they thrash to break free, break apart rocks. Watching you watch my mouth until a Muslim woman walks by hand in hand with her daughter. You click your tongue and roll your eyes. I think to say something about how honor and family are like the veil on her head, but the last time I spoke resulted in more liquid, more flies, and more sutures. The woman walks faster until she and her daughter are far enough away that she feels safe. The woman walks faster until she and her daughter are far enough away that she feels safe. You turn the TV volume up, the lens focuses, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Watch your mouth, B2. Try to walk straight, obey street lights, focus the eyes, dry lips, lick them, even if relief passes quickly. Think of something else in this gray space at dusk, on a street near home, nearly swallowed by the sun, the evening sun's last attempt to see you. Lick them again, the lips, touch them lightly with the tip of the tongue. Feel for cracks that beg for water. They're warm, too warm, warmer than your tired skin, covered in sweat, so wet it reflects streetlights. Red, green. Focus your eyes hard. Try to walk straight, one foot after the other, crossing the narrow street, leaving behind a moment you thought would never happen. Cracked lips bleed little spots, spots of blood that seem right for the occasion, little slices, sharp pain. They taste like warm nickels. Lick them once more, draw air in over wet lips to cool them as you try to walk straight, try to make sense of separation. How did this happen? Not even the most reliable narrative, that vague and never wrong telling of universal experience, taken in by the mind, so open to suggestion, could signal this split. Cracks that open, separating flesh, separating lips, separating lips, separating you from them for the last time, announcing difference, announcing opposition. Lips that separate to announce disdain for a social world in need of transformation at the dinner table. This is the last piece that I'll read tonight. I have to say it's pretty much a downer. But then I'll be introducing Vesta, which will be very cheerful. Jennifer Wilde was strangled and drowned in a hotel toilet in Manila on October 11, 2014 by a U.S. Marine when he discovered that she was a transgender woman. In 2010, journalist Agnes Yumama was sentenced to 17 years in prison for allegedly inciting social violence by writing opinion pieces in a Rwandan newspaper that criticized the government. In February 2004, Mohammed Saber Rayan and Zakaria Ayed were killed by Israeli forces for protesting Israel's apartheid law. 2 protesters were killed, 30 were injured, and several were arrested for protesting the Saudi war on Yemen in April 2015. Farkunda Malikzada, a religious school teacher, was thrown from a roof, run over with a car, beaten with sticks and rocks, and lit on fire for arguing with a man about illegally selling charms at a mosque in Kabul. In 2013, Dwayne Jones was beaten, stabbed, shot, and run over by a car in Irwin, Jamaica for wearing women's clothing to a dance party. Wabshe Taye, a professional editor in Ethiopia, I may not have said that properly, was sentenced to 14 years in prison. He stands accused of being a terrorist after publishing a critical article about government corruption. Raif Badawi was lashed 1,000 times and sentenced to 10 years in Saudi prison for blogging about liberal ideals and supposedly insulting Islam in 2012. In April 2014, entrepreneur and blogger, I'm not going to say this right, Qin Zhehe, was sentenced to 3 years in a Chinese prison for allegedly spreading rumors about the government. Casey Haggard, a 66-year-old retiree and transgender woman, was stabbed in the neck on the streets of Fresno, California in July 2015. The assailant did not take her purse. In May 2015, Ezequiel Boberan and Diego Guzman, both college students in Chile, were shot to death for attempting to hang a banner advocating for education reform during a protest. In May 2013, Gartse Jigme, a Tibetan author and monk, probably also did not say that correctly, was sentenced to 5 years in a Chinese prison for writing a book featuring his opinions about the government and human rights. In 2003, 17-year-old Nerea Johnson was shot in the head in the state of Indiana when a man who was attracted to her discovered that she was transgender. Watch your mouth.